For this round, we're going to open up the manager and start a new class. So you're going to put your class name, so that's the actual class. You can separate it by the type of students you have in there, or you can separate it by groups of tests, which I would suggest. But I'm just going to put the class name so that when that shows up, you can see where that change is made. You can add things like passwords and all of that to it. Your instructor name, and the school you need, and then just hit OK. And so you're ready to go. And the class, even though you put your class name in, the file itself is still untitled. Let's go ahead and save that now. Hit the save button, and notice it's saving into the classes folder that's automatically set up for it, and you change that in preferences to go wherever it needs to go. This file has to be able to communicate with your published test files, so it's good to save it on the network, but you can also put it on your C drive. Just always put it in the same place. So the class name, file name, and that's going to be .cls, and hit save. And now you can see up here it's changed. Alright, so now we need to add a student. And to do that, we've got this button here, or down below you've got new student, or the very easy way, just double click in the area. So you put in the student information. You can always click on more to track different types of students, but you'll need a first, last name, and student ID. And you can give that student a password, and if you do give them a password, they'll have to remember that and enter it in each time they take a test in order to view the test. In order to open the test, they'll have to put in their own individual password. Alright, so then I can click OK, and that student is added in right across there. Now I need to assign a test file for that student, so I can click on this, add assignment, or down here, new assignment, or the very easy double click. Brings up a dialog box, put in the assignment name. So let's call it, let me check on what we called this before. This is a test title file name. This is a test title student file name. Okay, so I'm just going to call this is a test title assignment name. And now here I can switch the category, so if it's if you've changed those categories in preferences, you can just select what type of category that is, and your test assignments will actually be organized across the top here by those categories if you choose to do that. Remember the date, it also, after it does by category, it arranges by date. You can change the order of how these showed up by dating it a long time ago, so even 1910 works. Now you have to click on online test delivered over local access network, LAN. So you can just look at this visually. That's my way I usually tell people to do this, because if you get into reading it, you naturally skip over steps, and instead of reading everything that it says. Just get a sense of tile here, click the middle one, or look for that LAN. And then once you get a lot of test files, they'll all pop up here, and you have to be sure to select the one because it always comes up with the top one highlighted. But you got to click on the one that you want to keep. So I want my assignment to connect to this file name, the EOT file, and it's looking in that file that I set in preferences, which for right now is the ExamView file in tests. So you usually don't want them to take it the test multiple times, and actually I would suggest that you don't let them take it multiple times. If they do take it more than once, then what you'll want to do is make 2 assignments for that test file. That way you keep both grades, and you can decide whether you average their test scores or keep the best one, or however you do that. And then you're probably not going to allow them to do it over multiple sessions. That would mean they can close and then come back to it. Okay, a password, you have to come up with a password again. So that password is going to allow the student, once they put in their personal information, it allows them to view the test. So a way to use that is to put in something pretty generic. So a lot of teachers will use student, and so the students know they just need to enter student in, or whatever it is. And some teachers will make the final test something that the students don't know, so they'll have to come to them first before they take that final. And you could do that with any of your tests. And then you can also control what time of day they are able to access it. If you do use this, then just make sure that your student computers are showing the correct time during the daylight savings time frame. Sometimes the clocks don't get set. So next, you can allow a certain amount of time, or you can give them 10 minutes, and it'll set a timer. And they probably don't need to pause. Scramble, go ahead and scramble the questions. And then here's the big one to remember, 99. You don't want to allow them to check the responses 99 times. That's the sabotage ExamView decided to give us. It's always on that as a default. So then you come into here, and that's something that you'll have to play with to see how you want that to print out. But you'll hit next. It gives you a summary, and you just finish. And what you'll see here is the assignment name, and it's ready to take their score. Okay.